Hey, we are reviewing the Independent Research Project. This video is just going to walk you through what this research project is, what is research, and help you formulate your project. Research, as we see over here, is the systematic investigation into and the study of materials and sources in order to establish facts and reach new conclusions. So really all we're doing here is investigating something. A research project allows you to think through a question and learn about the topic so that you can try to answer that question. There are other types of research. There are medical researches, there are studies and case studies. This grade we are just focusing on investigating material and forming a conclusion based on that. Step one is to define the task. Your teacher might give you an assignment topic. It might be the same topic you guys are studying in class. It might be something different, or you might get to choose your topic. You will write that here. What subject are you investigating? And then what do you want to do with the information you find? You could do any of these things or even something else. If you have a different idea, just type it right here. On slide 4 is where there is a video that goes into a little bit more depth of how to get a possible topic and then also how to write your research question. A research question should be a thoughtful, deep question that can't be answered with a simple yes or no or a simple fact. You are wanting to get something that is thoughtful and that causes you to maybe look at multiple sources or do deep learning. You will type that question here. And then here you will write everything you know about the subject. You might have a lot of things here. You might have only a couple of things, and that's okay. Whatever you know about the subject, type it here. Then you will come up with some questions that will help you answer this research question. Based on what you know, what do you still need to know in order to answer this question here? Again, this is a really great resource right here, this video on how to come up with that question. You can also use some of these sentence stems. So DOK 1 is depth of knowledge, and these are pretty basic, closed, simple questions. DOK 2 gets a little more difficult. How can you explain how this affected this? How would you apply what you learned to this? Could you compare and contrast? How are things alike and different? These are okay, but really when you get into DOK 3 and even 4 is very deep learning, and 3 is a really good place to start for a research project. How would you test something? How could you adapt something to create something different? What conclusions can you draw? What facts? What is your interpretation? Another way to look at research questions is asking a why question. Why did or what caused? So once you have this and you have at least 2 need to know questions to help you answer this research, you will move on to slide 5. This is where you will come up with some terms to search. So in the video, it talks about bees and how do bees work together to form a community. So I could look up bee community. I could have community of bees working together, things like that. So I could come up with different phrases to help me find the information I'm looking for. I can use some of the phrases from my questions here in slide 5. Now, once you get 3, 4, and 5 done, there is a checkpoint. You will meet with your teacher and share those slides with them. You will need approval before you move on, so please do not go past a checkpoint without letting your teacher know you need to meet with them. All right, on slide 7, this is where we actually do the research. We have chosen some of these sources for you to use. I know you know how to use Google. These are a little more academic. They have more information than just what you can just Google search, okay? So we really want you to be reading and thinking through what you're reading and not just looking at the first thing that pops up on Google. So using these sources, do the following on the next slides until you have answered all of your need-to-know questions from step 1. 1, search for answers to your need-to-know questions. You can use your search phrases from slide 5. 2, read, view, or listen to your source as you try to answer your need-to-know questions from step 1. 3, write down notes on your topic that answer your questions or that you think are important to share. 4, put notes in your own words or use quotation marks. 5, if you wrote any notes from that source that you viewed, you should write down or copy the link, title, and author if it has one. If you want to use a different source, you must get approval from your teacher. Now on slide 8 is where you will actually be writing your research. So I have that exact same thing up here. It's just little so you can see it. Here are all your links. You can write your need to know question that you're trying to answer here. You can paste the link here, put the title and the author if it has one, and then write your notes here. For every need to know question that you have, or if there's another resource you really like for that question, you will duplicate the slide. In order to do this, either right click on your mouse or with 2 fingers on your touchpad, click on the slide and then go to duplicate. There it is, duplicate slide, boop. And then you will have another research note slide. Now, after you have answered all of those questions, all of your need to know questions from slide 4, then you will have another checkpoint. Read over your notes. Have you answered all of your need to know questions? If not, keep researching. If so, move on to the next slide. So once you say, yes, I have answered those questions, you will go to slide 11. Since you have answered all of your need to know questions, review your research question from step 1, slide 4. Are you able to answer it? If not, continue to research until you can, and if so, move on to the next slide. Slide 12 is your synthesize, ready to put it all together. Using your notes and information from your research, create a final product to share with your teacher. You should have selected something on slide 3. If you want to change how you show what you've learned, you need to meet with your teacher again and get your new idea approved. If you make a video or a slideshow, you can link it on this slide here. If you have questions to ask your teacher, they will answer any questions you have. I'm really excited to see what you guys learn with this. See you later.